Yo, what's your name, bro? What's up?
4660 Reverk.
Okay.
Reverk.
Okay. Revert, you're on the line.
Guys. Hey,
What's
fellas.
up? How are you?
We got you, man.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We got you. Go ahead.
All right, cheers. All right, so yeah, married for 17 years, together 21. I'm a father of two, 11-year-old girl and 8-year-old boy here in North Carolina. Really appreciate what you guys do. The kids and I are huge fans and love what you do. My daughter's being raised to maintain her value and purity. My son's being raised to be strong, find his value, beat the prize.
Nice.
You know, somebody that he can set his standards and hold to them.
W.
It's a struggle these days, as you guys know.
Yeah. Clown world, man.
So,
But you're fighting the fight.
We listen to your podcast, and given the thousands of women and some ladies that you've interviewed and the dynamics of the dating scene today, where do you guys think the world of dating is leading for my kids? Right, 5 to 10 years, we're already talking about relationships, what's appropriate, what's not, where things are going. Do you think it's going to swing back? Like that pendulum swinging, right? Is it going to swing back to more of the traditional, where it's going to empower men to be men and women to be women for what they really need and want, not hitting that wall? Or do you see it kind of progressing on toward more masculine women, feminine men, and it's just kind of going to break apart? Like, what's the main thing if you had children, you tell your daughter or your son to be successful in the future?
That's a really good and insightful question.
The first point you made about it swinging back to masculine and feminine roles being the main thing people look for, I would say no, just because, like Myron always says on the show, feminists have fought so hard for their position. They've gone so far, they don't want to regress back. But at the same time, even advances of social media, technology, AI, OnlyFans, all these devices that we have nowadays, to go back to what we had before, it's almost not even like an option anymore. And with social media itself, just because like girls can, the problem with social media is that like average guy or girl could be on the right path, and then they get on social media and they see the opposite of that. They see like people live a certain lifestyle, have certain options, and then they kind of get like a twist of reality in a different way. So you can raise them the right way, but social media, you just never know. So I would say no for the first point of going back to traditional standards.
The reason why, and Fresh said it a second ago, that feminists fought really hard to get this point, and they're not going to yield any ground. The reason why I don't see us going back to traditional values is because being traditional is hard, and human beings in general don't like doing hard things. If you tell women that they can go ahead and be promiscuous, chase a career, make money, and then have a shining knight in armor waiting for them at the end of their, carousel riding, most women are going to go with that narrative versus you need to preserve yourself. You need to, if you want to pursue an education, that's fine, but that comes second to family. It's easier to just be a 304 and live your life and YOLO. So typically human beings go with the path that is where there's least resistance, and that's what I've noticed. And women aren't the only victims of this. Men too. I mean, a lot of guys have bought into this equality mantra of men and women are equal. I want a woman that's strong and independent. I want a chick that's going to pay half the bills, all this other stuff, when in reality they don't even know that they don't want that, and women don't even know that they don't want that, right? And it's not until they get in a relationship where they deal with the opposite gender and they see that equality being done that they're like, oh, I'm really not attracted to this. The woman's in her masculine. She's like, this guy's kind of a bitch. He can't pay for dates. I'm not being courted appropriately. The man is dealing with a woman that's fairly rambunctious and assertive and dominant because she's been masculinized from entering the workforce and being told that she needs to be strong and independent, and both parties kind of come to the relationship like, wait, this is confusing, I don't really like this, but they don't know how to deal with it because social media has indoctrinated them to think that you should accept your woman being equal to you in every way and behaving like you. She should be a go-getter and a bag-getter and all this other crap. So what I'm saying is that strong fathers like you and families need to deprogram their kids and constantly reaffirm to them that social media isn't real. What they're telling you isn't real. It's all a lie. It's a matrix. And you're going to have to do that for the better part of their, adult life. Obviously their young years that like you're doing now, but even into their teenage years and then into their young adult years. And you need to kind of that's why parents are so important, because parents are the first line to let their kids know how the world really works versus what they might see. And the thing that parents kind of have against them now is that social media does more parenting than parents do.
Yep.
And social media,
there's so much against us. You're right.
Yeah, there's so much against great parents like yourself, man. So what it really comes down to is parents need to be stronger than ever to combat the BS that's going on. 99 genders. You got drag queens reading books to children in school. Parents need to be like it used to be, where In the 50s, you could be a decent parent, but society was civilized, right? Other, people were more religious. There were morals in the society. So, they used to say, it takes a village to raise a child. There ain't no village anymore. And there really isn't because because unfortunately, thanks to social media and society, everyone is woke and liberal, and they don't understand that children need to be protected and need to be shielded from certain things, or at least told the truth of how the world really works, so that when they do see the social media, they do see the BS, they're able to look at it, right, and be like, okay, this is not how things really work. But unfortunately, we don't have that that benefit anymore of like strong, tight-knit communities because there's not many nuclear families like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's awesome. Thank you. So do you think that traveling down that path, right? Everything that we talk about, everything you guys say, look at with the ladies and the fellas and all your other joiners and your people. Do you think that it's still worthwhile to maintain those traditional mindsets and lead your children towards that path of like, hey, everyone else is going to be doing this. This is what you see. You're going to run into a wall if you're 30 or you're 40 and you hate life because you didn't do what you knew you were supposed to do or what we led you along, and help coax them that way, or be more along the lines of, well, you might as well get yours, right? You might as well get in, get what you can, be more self-serving and more selfish, not get taken advantage of. It's kind of a dichotomy, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So it depends. So if you choose to stay in the United States, then I think the self-serving mindset, right, especially for your son, especially telling that to your son, I think is important. But that's why I like Dubai so much. When I was over there, right, you saw families, right? In America, when I see people walking around in strollers, there's like freaking dogs in them. When I was in the UAE, when I saw people with strollers, it was children. There were families. Like I saw legit like a million nuclear families walking around. It was safe. It was clean. And there was no issues like that. But in the United States, you don't necessarily see that. So it depends on where you decide. You're in North Carolina, which is good because that's a more conservative state and a better place to be than a lot of these, woke cities. But I think for your son.
Yeah, we came from Seattle, so I had to move the family.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You got out of the madness.
Yeah, you got out of the madness. Good stuff. I mean, for your son, I think you need to teach your son to be selfish to a degree because to deal with the way that modern women are, you need to teach your son that because I think if he goes in under a gentleman route and he tries to be a nice guy, the women are going to eat him up and spit him out. And then for your daughter, obviously to preserve her value, which you're already doing.
I mean, ultimately, you have to make a path for your kids because they will, in some instance, choose for themselves what's best for them. But having that reference point, say, okay, my dad and taught me this is how to be a woman, this is how to be a man. Because I think, bro, even in the Bible, it says that we're in end times because men become women and women become men. And it's kind of like this whole world that we live in right now is just distorted. So having that good reference point of your teachings would actually help them along the way. So I would say still do it for sure, but just know that out there is going to be a lot of chaos too.
Keep that frame, keep that perspective, situate them in reality, but actually give them the tools that they're going to need to progress. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Obviously, don't force it on them, but let them know, hey kids, we love you, and these are the facts here. You decide for yourself what you want to do, but it's right. It's the right way you should do it.
Yeah,
ultimately.
and it's gonna be like a constant reaffirmation all the time because every time you tell your kids something, they're gonna go out into the real world and see the clown world, and then you kind of almost have to remind them. Like a lot of people watch red pill content like this all the time to like stay focused and understand. Okay, what I'm seeing when I walk out into the matrix isn't real. I need to understand how the world really works, and you're gonna have to kind of be that that red pill for your children every time
because you're fighting TV, social media, spirits. People,
their friends,
like teachers, government,
their dumbass parents, your children's friends, dumbass parents who might have weird views. Like, bro, like it is so tough to be a parent, which is why I respect the hell out of anybody that's raising a family nowadays because you have so much BS coming into your children that you didn't have to worry about 20 years ago that you now have to worry about and deprogram out of your kids.
Yeah, and there's a war on your kids.
It is. That's the challenge too. Is talking to the older folks, right? You're trying to get that wisdom from older people and have people respect them and understand it, right? You were talking about the 40s and the 50s and even the 60s. It doesn't matter what culture or color you came from. The family unit was there. We were all a community of one sort or another. We don't have that these days, even in the small knit communities.
Yeah.
So. You're right. There's just so many assaults on so many senses to our children, and then when they come home, they're like, "What about this?" And you're like, "Who the fuck did you hear that from?"
Yeah,
that's insane. But you can't say it like that because then they go tell their teacher that they're a fucking And then you're in trouble, and it's like, well, you are, but where are we going to go from here, right?
I mean, like, it's amazing to me how a child can come home from school today in 2023 and tell you, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, I learned that there's 97 in school. Versus if you go back to 1953, they might say, oh, I learned Tyrannosaurus Rex had 2 small arms. Like, you know, like before. Now you have to go ahead and deal with a whole bunch more bullshit, bro.
Wrong.
You know what I mean? Isn't that? And I really do feel for parents nowadays because y'all literally have to parent on Super Saiyan mode now to circumvent all the bullshit that your kids are being taught or being indoctrinated with through social media, through liberal teachers, through the liberal agenda, etc. So it's just wild to me how you have to do extra parenting now, man.
Yeah, it's so bad. People might have to actually do homeschooling.
Homeschooling has been exploding. I remember growing up as a kid.
Well,
that homeschooling was like weird.
Yeah.
But now it's like way more socially acceptable.
Yeah,
it's way more common now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the interesting thing because I'm actually an atheist, but I'm really looking, and I've talked to my friends who are religious, so they're either Catholic or Christian or even Muslim, and they're like, hey, look at religious schools, and I used to be very against it. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, looking at the values, looking at the traditional mindset, right? Yeah, I don't want to push religion on them, but if that's where it's going to take my children and it's going to set them up for success, okay, I guess we'll just have that religious, conversation, and you're going to sit down with the fucking nuns. Maybe I do have to do that. I am seriously looking at that as an atheistic father, atheistic family, so.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, like I respect your belief system and everything else like that. I'm never going to knock anyone for what they believe in. But the one thing I will say about religious-centric schools, whether it's a Catholic school or something like that, they instill morals into the education system, which helps with character development. Because at the end of the day, the thing about religion is religion teaches you to be a good person. Most of the religions of the book, whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Islam, etc., they all teach you how to be a good person from a moral standpoint. So if anything, at least they'll teach your children how to be good people. And sometimes people need that reaffirmation from religion. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, etc. This helps people live good lives. And like I said before, I don't have a problem with anybody's religion because religion it typically makes you a better person most of the time. Most religious people I've met, regardless of what they're devout to, are good people.
Yeah, we're not gonna smack on you for your beliefs. Yeah, but I just hope that you do find God, Christ is King, and man, wish you the best.
But you're fighting the fight, my friend. You're on the front lines, and we respect men like you absolutely.
Because he's fighting a war that's more spiritual than physical. Yeah,
Yeah, so, it's tough being a parent nowadays, bro. No one talks. Honestly, fucking shout out to him, man. I'm gonna give him a Don DeMarco because if we had more men that thought like that and behave like that and are willing to even compromise what they might think is like their belief system with atheism, like I might have to put my kids in a Catholic school. Like, bro, that's selfless. I respect that.
For the kids.
What I mean? I respect the hell out of that. I wish we had more parents like that. We'd have a way better society.
And he's in the home doing the work.
Yep.
And most guys are like, oh, bro, I'm out of here.
Shout out to him, man. Yeah. His kids are gonna come out right.
Yeah.
I know that. Makes me happy in the future because so many kids end up in like messed up households, and then that's gonna be a burden on society.
I just hope he finds God.
Amen. So all right, bro.
He already left. He left on his own.
Yeah. No worries. Shout out to him, man. I really enjoy calls like that, and I really love seeing like strong fathers out there taking care of their kids. And yeah, bro, they got an uphill battle, man. All the fathers in here that are watching, all the mothers that are watching, y'all have an uphill battle. Much respect to y'all, man.
The best thing you can do for your kids is save their soul. Because right now, guys, is under attack.
Yep.
Everybody's attacking them.
Yep. I remember when I was a kid, my parents had to like kind of fight just television. There was no social media. There was none of this BS. So like they just had to fight television and all the crap on there. Hey, this isn't the way the world works, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. But now, with the access kids have on their cell phones, dude.
I know kids that are 3 or 4 years old watching like stuff they shouldn't be watching on iPads.
Bro.
It's crazy, bro.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much parenting you have to do.
Even the cartoons are kind of distorted because it's teaching them about how to be like, and it's like, bro, like what the hell? 4 or 5 years old?
My parents' work was cut out for them in the 90s. I can only imagine now with cell phones, tablets, unprecedented access to the internet.
But it's so bad. People are questioning having kids too, just because this world is so messed up.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's hit the next caller.
Cool.